My name is Jocelyn Vandeveld. I'm the City Bikes brand manager. I work at Trek Bicycles. And what we have here is the Super Commuter, which is a great representation of our enormous electric bike collection that we have that's rapidly growing all the time. We've been doing electric bikes for the last 15 years, and not just at Trek, but globally, electric bikes have been growing in popularity for quite some time. Asia, Europe, it's quite the norm to see electric bikes, but here in the US, we're seeing it more and more, not just from a recreational standpoint, but from a commuting standpoint. This is the Super Commuter. It is built from the ground up with the idea of being an electric bike, but not just any electric bike, one that is a speed bike. So ground up by our Dutch development team, and it is one of those bikes where the reality of getting rid of your car could be made possible with this bike. So you've got full fenders, you've got a rack for throwing whatever pannier you might want on it. It comes with integrated lighting from Supernova. It's a daytime running light on it. I'll turn it on for you right there. Daytime running light on the front as well on the back. And just like your car, it'll sense when it's getting darker and convert over to your nighttime light. So it's really, really great for riding day, night, whatever works for you. In addition, we are using the Bosch Performance Speed motor and battery. We have the 500 battery pack. So this means we're using the largest capacity that Bosch offers in a single battery. Bosch uses 4 different levels of toggling through power, from eco up to turbo. We use the Purion display. Super Commuter will retail for $49.99 here in the U.S. The design team in Holland is led by Chris Carlson, who has been a long-time employee of Trek and is the man who's really responsible for developing a lot of our awesome mountain bike technology. So a lot of that's been adopted into this bike, things like this chain guide and our derailleur cover, and you've got the motor armor underneath here, because let's face it, riding in an urban environment can sometimes be just as hard on your bike and your body as riding on a mountain bike. So we want to make sure you could be in that suit or those work clothes, and you'd be able to show up to work ready to go. All right. So what you're looking at here is the Crossrip Plus. We brought this kind of as a surprise. It has not been shown to anybody yet, and we've even had some dealers out here that had no idea it was coming, so it's pretty exciting. But the Crossrip Plus is an e-bike that is a take on our successful Crossrip that we've had in the line for several years as a non-e-bike, as a regular bike. This platform is great for all sorts of riding, whether it's for road, whether it's for commuting, weekend adventure, whatever that might be. So we took that platform and, as you can see here, brought it into the e-bike lineup utilizing the Bosch Performance Speed system. So you're going up to 28 miles per hour on this bike. The really, really cool, there's 2 really cool parts to this bike. So if you look at it as is, it's very much set up for a commuting from a commuting standpoint, or if you want to do some light touring. But you can completely remove the fender, the racks. You can take the kickstand off, and you can make it more of your traditional road ride setup. One really neat element to that is once you remove this rack with these screws you see here, that pops off, and this light we have here on the back, which is from our Bontrager Flare City, or it actually is the Bontrager Flare City. The best way to describe it is it looks kind of like a USB stick that pops out, plugs right into the back here, so you can seamlessly take that rack off and keep that light integrated. So speaking of integrated lights, that's the other really cool part about this bike. So we developed from, again, using our awesome staff on the Bontrager side of the business. We've incorporated a lighting system that will speak to all sorts of riding. And not only did we go so far as to integrate it into the bike, we also integrated the way you control the lights right into the Purion console from Bosch. So once you turn on the bike, you're going to get those daytime running lights going on the front. You're going to have your light here on the back. Bontrager promotes daytime running lights as imperative to all kinds of riding. using our ABCs of safety, always on, biomotion, and contrast. So here we're using the always on part of that. Great reminder to keep in mind as you're riding safely on the road. So with this toggle here, you can go from that daytime light to the flash that we have kind of made so famous with our Flare R for road riding and, well, really any kind of riding. And then the same flash pattern changes in the back. You then can toggle, you have your two different, high beam, low beam, daytime, nighttime running is there as well there. So all of this is being charged by the battery. Don't even have to think about it, which I know I'm guilty as charged, forgetting to charge lights. So that's great that you don't have to think about that. The CrossRip Plus will run $37.99, is only going to be available in the US. I gotta say, the CrossRip Plus is that first e-bike that I feel like the general consumer is going to have to fight the Trek employees to get their bike. People are super jazzed at the company because, Waterloo is about 25 miles outside of Madison. And let's face it, the one thing I didn't mention that is so amazing about e-bikes is time. People don't have enough time. And the fact that you can still get on a bicycle, enjoy the outdoors, get some fitness, and be on a bike in a time frame that's not going to completely blow your day is amazing. So that is another reason why Trek employees are just so excited to be able to max this out at 28 miles per hour and get from work to cut off 30 plus minutes off of their commute if they're doing 25, 30 miles on a bike. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how many Trek employees get this bike. I'm pretty excited to watch.
So this is our PowerFly 8. We do have a couple lines of PowerFlies. We have the hardtail, but this is the full suspension, which is the number 8 here. And it comes with a 500 watt hour Bosch battery pack. It is limited to 20 miles an hour, but 1x10 drivetrain. It's like the fantastic riding bike. One thing that Trek definitely dials in with these bikes, especially for Trek, and this is the suspension system. The ride is just like a normal Trek and what you'd expect. It's front to back is RockShox, top of the line components. This is your top of the line bike. So it retails for $49.99.
Trek Bikes has been building bikes for over 40 years based out of Waterloo, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Madison. A lot of people know Trek for performance, both on the mountain and on the road side. But a lot of people don't know that we've been producing and developing electric bikes for the last 15 years. We have a really, really strong team in Europe, and we've been providing electric bikes to that market for quite some time. Another thing to keep in mind that's so great about Trek electric bikes is the fact that we have such an awesome dealer network. So there are so many great e-bikes that are coming into the market, but some just can't support the rider quite like Trek can. So that's a really great thing that we have going for us. In addition, we have just a really, really great partners in electronics, reliable, great partners in Shimano and in Bosch. And then in addition, we still have a frame warranty on our bikes, because let's face it, Trek builds bikes first. We've been doing this for a long time, so we fully back our frames with the lifetime warranty, as well as 2 years on electronics. So e-bikes in the U.S., it's amazing the changes we've seen in the last year to 2 years in particular. I personally have been with the company just a little over a year, and even in that year, the attitude shift that we've seen from some people who kind of turned their nose up to it a little bit or didn't quite understand that, it's not just for old people, or that, I don't need an e-bike, that's cheating. People are really coming around to the idea that there are an amazing level of benefits that come along with riding an e-bike. Whether people just want to get somewhere faster, farther, or go farther, whether they want to be sweat-free for work, Some of the other things that come to mind as well is the great equalizer. You know, you hear about those people who can't ride with a friend or a partner, or the group that they used to ride with on Wednesday night, and maybe they're just not able to keep up anymore. So it's been amazing to watch the transformation in the U.S. in particular, but like I said, just in this last year alone, it's been mind-blowing to see the growth and explosion of electric bikes in the U.S. Sure, on trekbikes.com, we have a really great page all about our electric bikes. There's even a great video featuring Gary Fisher, where if you don't know a lot about e-bikes or you're still not a believer, Gary does an amazing job of talking about why e-bikes are such an awesome way to get more people riding more often. So trekbikes.com, we're also found on Instagram. We have a really great page there, and on Facebook and Twitter.